Good evening. I call this meeting to order at 5 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. All directors are present. Moving on to approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda tonight.
All right, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, the agenda is approved. Moving on to public comment. We have no members of the public in person and no members online. So we will move on to community reports. In person, we have Fire. Battalion Chief Spees.
Just a brief overview on Phelan Station. So stats for the last 30 days, total of 461 calls. It was 213 for Medic Engine 10, and then the two ambulances, Medic Ambulance 10 had 128, and Medic Ambulance 10A had 120. A little call stats, so from year to year, from 2023 to 2024, we were up about 100 calls, and then the station's averaging about 8 calls a day. One thing I do want to let the community know is the Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT program, that state OES sponsors, and County Fire is a big contributor and a part of. We do have an event coming up, or a class starting in the area. The class is going to be on May 3rd and 10th, and we'll be a part of that and instructing. So a little background on what CERT is. It's volunteers of the community that go through this program. It's about a 20-hour course, and it's for disaster response and preparedness. They're going to learn skills to safely care for themselves, family, and the community until first responders can get the resources into the area. So it's a program we're happy to be a part of and we value. I left some flyers over on the desk if anyone's interested. They can always go to our website, sbcfire.org, and learn more about that, or they can email vssoes@oes.sbcounty.gov, and that's going directly to the program lead that can connect them with the community leaders for that. So that's the announcements I have. The other thing I did want to bring up, I brought an engine crew with me. We have Captain Cliff Bracken, newly promoted into Phelan, so he's normally stationed at Station 10 in Phelan. We also have Engineer Craig Cummings, newly assigned as well. He comes from the Oak Hills area. Both of them raised in the high desert, and a lot of experience. So we're happy to have them on it, and you guys will probably be seeing them fairly soon out in the community. Are there any questions I can answer?
No, any questions? No?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
our community capital.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and online from Supervisor's Office, I have Sam Shoup.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Just a quick update for everyone from our office on some board items that were approved this month. The board approved a continuation of the local emergency proclamation for the line and bridge fires, mainly just so we can continue recovery efforts, have more streamlined permits for anything we need to do for recovery and further mitigation efforts. We know there's some flood warnings and things like that, so we're just looking to make sure we stay on top of that as we move forward. Additionally, in regards to county fire, the board approved $6 million allocated to county fire for the purchase of 10 new engines. That's not specific to our area of the county, but countywide, those will be very helpful for our groups out there. A little more local, the construction for the Phelan Road rehabilitation project, we're expecting to start next month. The exact date, it depends on the conditions out there, but we're expecting that in the next week or two. And again, that's just the general repavement, resurfacing before the big widening a few years out. Beyond that, as always, I want to remind everybody and the community if there's any issues residents have with county agencies, that the district has with county agencies or anyone like that, please feel free to reach out to me and we can try to resolve that and streamline the process for everybody. But that's pretty much all I have. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions? Yeah.
They've started the ADA compliance corners in town already. So that's probably required to be done first before they start the repaving. So that'll probably be a big sign they're ready.
Yeah, it's good to see you've already seen them out there. That's great.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any
Thanks
other
so much,
questions?
everybody.
Yeah, go ahead, Gina.
As far as the repaving and resurfacing, did they give a length of time, what they expect it to take from start to end? I know start, probably depend on weather and that, but is there typically a,
I don't have an
Time
end
frame?
date on that. I'll reach out. I'll shoot an email over to my contact over there right now and let you guys know, but I don't have one at the moment.
okay. And I'm really asking for the area that is between Sheep Creek and Malpaso. Most importantly, we have an event that will be coming up. I'm curious if that area will be done. Thank you.
When's that event?
Phelan Family Fun Days.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll double check on that for y'all and get an answer over to you.
Okay, that's in October, so let's try to make that happen.
Good point.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
It would look really good for the county to have that done for
Beautiful.
Phelan Family Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam, do you know if a brief got issued for this first part of the project prior to the bigger project that we could share with the community?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, do you know if a brief got issued on the current project that shows what the project is and the timeline?
I believe at least a small one-pager was sent out on the exact location and all of that. I don't know if those are usually sent over to Dawn. I don't know if y'all
Okay.
received that.
All right. It's on the county's website for Public Works.
It should be sent out to the CSD. I know we've had some issues with that, so if not, I'll forward on over to you guys too.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sam. Good to see you.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Okay. All right, moving on to item 3, consent items. Does anyone have anything they would like to pull? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move the item.
And a sec-
Go ahead.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. Number 4, no items removed. 5, no presentations. So we move on to 6A, discussion and possible adoption of Resolution 2025-02. Mr. Bartz.
Thank you, President Kuyawa. Got a tongue tied there. I'm going to turn this over to Jennifer.
Thank you. This item is discussion and possible adoption of Resolution 2025-02, authorizing staff to execute and take actions as approved by the applicant's board directors necessary for the purpose of obtaining federal financial assistance provided by FEMA and administered through Cal OES for the fiscal year 2024 state and local cybersecurity grants for local and tribal governments program. Before we go very much further, I just wanted to let you know, you guys got a handout. We actually met with Cal OES today, and we had to correct the name of the program. The year is supposed to be fiscal year 2022, and fiscal year 2023 is the actual name of the grant. So with that in mind, of course, you're aware district is always very concerned about cybersecurity. And to that end, at the end of last year, we completed a notice of interest for a grant through Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, and then administered by Cal OES. The district was actually awarded that in the amount of $128,214. That process is a little different than the ones we normally go through. Normally, we complete the application, and then we're awarded. We had to complete notice of interest, and then we were awarded. And so now we have to go through the actual application process. So part of that application process is this resolution that's required. There's no match requirement for this grant, and it's going to be used for development of incident response plan, cybersecurity incident response plan, cybersecurity training for staff, a risk assessment, and then also to upgrade some of our outdated systems to meet some of the risks that they've identified with our legacy technologies.
Okay.
If there's any questions.
Any other questions for Jennifer? No? All right.
Just a comment, I've noticed that other agencies have been really hit with the cybersecurity issues.
Yes.
And I'm very thankful that we haven't had an issue, and this will prevent one from happening.
Yes, that is very true.
All right. Well, I will motion to adopt Resolution 2025-02.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion passes. Moving on to 6B, discussion and possible approval to complete and submit forms required by Department of Homeland and Cal OES for fiscal year 24 state and local cybersecurity grants. Mr. Bartz.
Thank you. I'm going to let Jen handle this also, and it's a small item. It's only 160 pages. So we'll try to skim through that as best as possible.
Unless Dawn wants me to, I won't go through every single form. They're just pretty standard FEMA forms that we have to complete and fill out that we've had to do with a lot of the other grants that we've had to do. So if anyone has any questions, of course, we'd be happy to answer those.
Questions? No? No? All right. All right. Is there a motion?
I'll move the item.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. All right. Now I got to scroll through 125
Page 204
pages.
is where you need to land.
Thank you. All right. While I'm doing that, item C, discussion and possible action releasing the request for qualification proposal for construction management services for the Civic Center Development Phase 1. Mr. Bartz.
Yes, George is going to be handling this item.
Thank you, Mr. Bartz. Good evening. Without having to read through the memo, I just want to kind of just give an update on where we're at with this project. We're kind of ready to move forward with the advertisement for bid on the project for construction. But before we do that, we really have to bring on some experience with construction management of this type. Going through the scope of work, a lot of those components are some of the tasks that staff and our consultants can manage. So if you look at the scope of work, it's not necessarily the full scope of what is going to be done by the construction management team. So we thought it was important to bring some experience along to help us walk us through this type of project. So in front of you, we do have the draft RFQ proposal for the project for the CM. We do have planned to have this advertised in the paper next week and solicit for RFQs. There is a non-mandatory job walk or meeting, really, to kind of go over the project itself. And then we will have, let me see here, I have 2 projects that are going to be going out for solicitation, and this being one of them. We have the deadline for this project scheduled for April 3rd. With that, we'll go through the evaluation, and then we'll bring it to the board on April 23rd for a recommendation to award. Soon to follow, we would like the CM to kind of review the bid packet for the construction before it is advertised. soon after, we'll have that out looking for a contractor to move forward with the construction of the Civic Center project. I have no more to add to this. I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
All right. Greg, any questions?
No.
Gene? I'm good. No? I'm good over here. Yeah.
I just want to say, I think it's great you're bringing a construction manager on board. Project of this size, you definitely need one. They'll end up saving us money in the long run. I read through the whole proposal, and I know we can add this at a later date or when they bring in the proposals, but I want to make sure that we have the RFI process defined. So there's a process in place and we know how many days to answer the RFIs we have and how many days they have. Make sure all that's taken care of.
Yeah, there is a 5-day period for us to respond before the proposals are due, as well as I think there is, I'm not sure if it wasn't listed on there, it should have been, but there is a deadline for that, for the RFIs.
Okay, as long as the
Yeah.
schedule's in there, I'm good with that.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
then if we can get them to keep daily track of what equipment and manpower is in the job, just in case we have any delays, it's on us. They don't start charging us for equipment and manpower that we shouldn't be paying for. So as long as the CM's on top of that.
Yeah, I believe a lot of that, there's a lot of oversight with AQMD on who's out there, what equipment's being run. We're going to be right next door to oversee the project. So this being our first project, I'm more paranoid about these other entities and oversight on any violations. So we're going to be on that for sure.
Yeah,
Trust
as
me
long
on
as
that.
the CM's on it, we're in good
Yeah,
shape
yeah.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah, we I just want to add as well that we have the consultant on for the sweeps, the stormwater prevention pollution plan. There's always a window of when we can move dirt, and that's also important. So we have to meet those state regulations on stormwater stuff, so.
Speaking of the window for moving dirt, we should probably make sure we define what a rain day is and what a wind day is, and any delays like that might add time to the end of the contract, or have the contractor ask for extra days at the end, because that'll cost us money too.
Yeah, as you know, if we've seen this past year how many rain days we've had, right? So we could have this project constructed a lot sooner than other locations in the state or in the country. So that's us crossing our fingers. So no, we definitely will. Thank you.
And then outside of that, I think I asked this question before, but did we look through the architect's contract to see if there's errors and omissions in there in case he made a mistake?
Yeah, there was that in his contract. Yeah, we did look into that, and that was the question that was asked with Wallace Group. And there was oversight to look into the errors and omissions. So we've asked Steno Design regarding that. They say, yeah, well, of course. Well, I don't know if they really know what that means until we followed up with our consultant that put together the contract documents. So, yeah.
And then what else did I have? I think that was.
Are you
basically-
like, yeah, seems like you're really familiar with these type of projects.
Yeah, you've done a few of them. And then I was gonna ask about, one last thing. Oh, the estimate. When was the last time we got an updated estimate on the project?
That is one thing that we're going to bring to the board, obviously, when we go to construction on that, and we're still getting numbers on that. We assume, just based on the discussions we have internally, we're probably about 10% based on the escalation from the last one. So I really have to look at what the last estimate was. But I think we're going to be comfortable with what they're going to come in. We just don't know.
Yeah,
You know, it's just the market. It's who's available for this project and what those bids will come in at. So, yeah, that's one question I had with the engineer for the street project on the improvements on Sheep Creek Road. Really, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 140,000 for that. So, if we're at 10%, so we're at 160. So.
I'm
Yeah,
more
well-
concerned about the building itself. It seems like construction costs have gone up so much. I mean, Sean's talked about some of his costs and how much they've gone up. It's like, we might be in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then $2 million FEMA grant, is that a sure thing for us, or do we know where we're at?
Yeah, we spent some time talking to Rojas and Associates, who is doing the consulting for us on that. And that was one of the first questions we asked, and they said that was already funded, the money's already been transferred, and it looks like those are solid.
Oh,
So that was a major concern right out of the gate. And Chuck, I think you have some great comments on this. With the construction manager, we've talked about that in the
We
past.
have,
And we couldn't attempt to do a project like this without that. And I think we'll have a successful project.
Bring one on, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the county grant, are we still good with the county?
Yeah, the
grant?
county grant, the 500,000 is still good.
Those are all my comments.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So when we originally started the budget for this process, though, we did add contingencies for increases, right?
Yes, and we were, I think, at 25% for contingency when we brought this number to the board, so.
Yeah,
25%.
This project has been going on so long
Right.
that during COVID, the prices went way up because nobody was working, and it's dropped back down. It seems to have settled down some, but we're not seeing the huge spikes that we did over the couple of years.
Yeah.
And we'll bid the project, and if we don't like what the bids look like, then we can, we'll regroup. And, if we have to cut back on the scope of the project or rebid it, we can certainly do that. But we'll know in advance on whether to move forward or not. But
Okay.
I think we're pretty good right now.
And then, did we budget for the cost for the construction manager when we originally did this?
No, I didn't see it as a line item as far as the project. This kind of came up as, what is this going to look like? And could our consultants that we're working with, for example, Steno Design, would they have the experience to even provide these kind of services? They were not interested, and they didn't have anybody that they could bring on to provide these kind of services. There are a couple firms up in the high desert that have experience with $20 million school projects and higher that are very competitive. Of course, prices are going to they're going to vary based on availability. So if
Okay.
you're local, you're going to be competitive. This is going to be advertised in the Sun and the Daily Press. We considered going through Planet Bid, but we thought we can manage the managing who gets from our website, manage who gets the bid packet and the design drawing. So we thought if we can manage it internally, it much be better than having an outside entity manage the project for us. So
Okay.
Yeah, I think the number of contractors that would be qualified in the high desert there's quite a few that do gas station shopping centers, things, commercial buildings. So I think we're going to have a good pool of local contractors, and that's what we're hoping for. We want to keep the locals employed. If we can bring them in from up here, that's the best case scenario.
Okay.
yeah, so for construction management, there's a couple options up in the high desert, and for construction, there are a couple up here as well.
All right. Great. Awesome. All right. Good questions. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck.
All right. Okay, so we will move on to item 6D, notice of resignation of district's general counsel and discussion and possible action regarding appointment of new general counsel. Mr. Burtz.
Thank you. I'd like to start off and say that Steve Kennedy has been here from the first meeting when the district was formed. He's served the district well, and he's been an absolute pleasure to work with and putting up with us over the years. I think we've accomplished a lot, and we're working on close to 17-year relationship with Steve Kennedy and his firm. We're going to be sorry to see him go, but we will need to move forward. And Steve, I'm going to let you say anything you'd like to say, and then we'll go back to the agenda item.
Yeah, thank you, Don, and I appreciate those comments. And it has been an honor and a privilege to serve the district. I want to thank the board for the opportunity. I want to thank Don in particular for 17 years of working for your general manager, who has done an extraordinary job. And it has been, I'm so grateful for the opportunity that has been given. 17 years is a long time. And I am just so very grateful for working with the board, working with your staff, and working with your general manager. And just wish the district and the board and everyone there good luck with all the projects, especially the one that Mr. Cardenas just reported on. That's really exciting stuff, and I know there's a lot of good things that this board will be doing in the future, and that the district and your constituents will really continue to benefit from the work that this board is doing. So just wanted to express my deepest gratitude for my time serving the district. So thank you.
Yeah, and Steve Kennedy is still going to be working with Mojave Water Agency. He's assumed some of the duties over there, so we will still be working with them, but on a different level. He'll be on the other side of the room, but that's okay. He's always been very fair with us, and we're happy that he is working with Mojave Water Agency on some of the issues that we'll be dealing with in the future. I did talk to the president about a plan for at least in the interim for moving forward. And we do have an attorney that we use for our water issues, Wes Miliband, who is already employed by the district for different items. And so at this point, with the notice that we have and the amount of time that we have to work with, I've asked, and I would like the board to consider to use Wes Miliband in the meantime until we can advertise or find a new attorney to represent the district. A recommendation that I would have would be to either have an ad hoc committee to interview for a new attorney, or if the full board would like to, and bring in the attorneys to talk and see which firm they would like to pick. There are a number of firms in the area. There may be conflicts with other agencies, but since it's not water issues, it may not be as hard to find as if we were looking for a water attorney. Right now, there's a couple. We have like BB&K, Myers and Nave, Cole Huber. So some of the firms that have kind of a full service, they have a back bench that can do some of the things that we need, because the items that we deal with are very diverse. Anything from just the general counsel at the meetings, to real estate issues, to leases, all sorts of things like that. So the ideas that I have is that, up to the board on how you would like to proceed. But in the meantime, we're still covered for the items that we need, that are urgent, that we need to have addressed until we can get regular general counsel involved.
Okay. Start down here.
I just want to say, Steve, it's always been a pleasure working with you. You've always been articulate, ethical, and honest. I deeply appreciate it. Seems like you always really cared for the district and looked out for our best interest. I'm very sad to see you go. I'm going to be even sadder when the new attorney's bills start coming in, because you were very reasonable. So I just want to say it was always a pleasure working with you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you, Director Hayes. Really appreciate that.
And Chuck, your thoughts on Miliband, and then how to proceed with picking the new attorney?
I'm okay with Miliband coming in for a while, and ad hoc, or however you guys would like to handle it. Ad hoc would probably be the best way. It'd streamline the process.
Okay. All right, Deborah?
I'll start with a comment. I've known most of you guys here that have been here all along for nearly 10 years now. First time I walked in a board meeting was nearly 10 years ago. I've had the pleasure of working with you both here and interacting outside of here. Learned a lot. Very thankful for the lessons. I'll be watching from afar to learn more lessons. I'm very thankful. As far as moving forward, I think the ad hoc would be good to narrow it down so we don't have the whole board tied up for possibly hours. You never know, because we don't. And then if we have a hard time choosing, bring it to the board at that point.
Okay. Thank you. Gina?
I know I've been here a short time, but you've answered every email very quickly. Thank you so much. As far as, I'm good with the ad hoc and the temporary placement.
Okay. Greg?
All right. Hey, Steve, thank you for your years of service here at the district prior to me coming on board. I know during my tenure here for the last 2 years, we've dealt with some pretty significant contracts and deals with property and things that are related to the operations of the district, and I appreciate your insight and guidance, the board, through that time. We've had some good discussions, and I appreciate that. And I'm good with the ad hoc committee, doing the work up front and then bringing everything back to the full board for review.
Okay, thank you. And Steve, just want to thank you for all of your help with my first time being president a few years back, and it just it's been a pleasure working with you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate all the nice comments, and thank you. And I know district is in good hands. The report from your general manager was excellent as far as the transition goes. And I agree with, for what it's worth, agree with those comments, and we'll be glad to assist in any way you need in order to make that transition as seamless as possible. But thank you very much for your comments. It means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Okay. Another comment that I'd like to have, in order to, I want to say expedite the process, if there could be an ad hoc committee assigned tonight, and also if there's any input on attorneys that you would like to be involved, if you want to limit it to 3 or 4 or 5, however many you would like to pick, if anybody has a choice of who to reach out to, and then we could start with the outreach, see if there's an interest, and then get them before an ad hoc committee, and we could gather the information on the attorneys.
Okay. I know one of the recommendations was BBK, and you had already mentioned that one. Was there anyone else you had thought of?
No, I think there's quite a few law firms that can offer I can't talk tonight, offer full service legal services that we need across the board. So I think once we start researching and looking, we should have a pool of good, likeful candidates to provide us service.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd be willing to serve on the ad hoc committee like I did with the personnel committee if needed.
All right. I mean, personally, I'm looking at you down there at the end. You have a lot of time on your hands, and you have a lot of great ideas. And I mean, that would be my suggestion, is to have Chuck work with you on the ad hoc if everyone else is okay with that.
I will do it if nobody else would like to do it.
I wouldn't mind helping with that as well. So, whoever has the time available.
Thoughts? Greg, you're okay with squeezing in those ad hoc committee meetings?
Yeah, because we don't need to notice those, and so I'm available. I can't talk tonight. I'm available. The first time I had coffee in a couple of weeks. So, I'm available to do a Zoom meeting, and so if not, I'll be here. If we can make the meetings later in the evening, I'm good for it. If it needs to be during the day, just let me know, and I can tell you what my schedule is, and I have time.
Okay. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, so Greg and Chuck, we will put them on the...
He's fine with me.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so Greg and Deborah then will be the ad hoc committee, and then you guys can handle that. And then if it gets to the point where, you need to bring it back to the board, then we'll go there.
Okay, so if anybody has any ideas on who they would like to see involved in the interview process, or at least the vetting process, please get those to me. That way we can kind of get ahead of the game. Instead of having our first meeting, say, who do we want to look at? We could at least have a
The
list.
second one you mentioned would be good. I remember interacting with them at conferences, and they seemed easy to communicate with, so I'd like them to be on the table.
Yeah.
Abe?
Yeah, in the past, we did have, for a short period of time, and it was with and I'm not sure if they're general counsel, but Cole Huber, and I'm not sure of the status. That might be one worth talking to. I don't think their prices are what Steve's were, not even close. I don't think any of them are, but.
I can give you a couple names from BB&K if you'd like. I'll just shoot them over to you and see if they're interested.
Okay, yeah,
All right, great.
okay.
Does this require a motion and a vote for the ad hoc and decision?
I would refer that to Steve Kennedy.
A little bit more work to do, Steve. A little bit more work to do.
Good question.
Yeah, it probably would be a good idea. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll move the ad hoc and choices.
All right. Oh, my gosh. And I will second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Gosh. That was great.
I have a quick question, Rebecca.
Yes?
On item 6C, I'm sorry, was it C?
Yeah.
We didn't do a motion on that one. Do we need to approve
Did I-
that?
Yeah, we do need to do that. No action was made on that one.
What are we talking about?
The one for going out to bid?
To
for-
solicit.
6C?
Or, I'm sorry.
Did we just talk
To
and then I
solicit,
never?
yes, yeah, I was like, okay, maybe not.
Or closed it or anything. You're right.
Wow.
Good catch,
good catch.
Amy. Thank you, Amy.
I thought you seconded.
That was the first one. That was B.
It was a two-parter.
It was a two-parter. Sorry.
I'm talking about 6C,
Six,
which
the
was the
CM, the
action to
construction
release the
management.
request for
Yeah.
bid.
I
Really?
will move item 6C.
Thank you, Chuck.
I'll second it.
Woo! All in favor of 6C, say aye. Aye. Wow. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Amy. He can't talk and I can't lead a meeting, so. Woo! Okay, gosh. Moving on to item number, wait a minute, I missed something. Hold on.
Update on district project. E.
This is this little teeny tiny one at the bottom. 6E, update on district projects.
George?
George,
He's given you an
save
update on a lot of it already.
There's no action to be taken on this, it's just a report, so. You're saved, yes. We touched on the Civic Center project, and that's with the construction management services. With that being said, I did mention that there were 2 projects that were going out for solicitation. Jump on the ARPA project. That's the Phelan Park Enhancement Project, the pickleball courts, the community garden, and the paths with ADA, driveway, and parking lot improvements. We had received, the board had given staff the approval to move forward with solicitation back in November. It took us 3 plan checks to get us to where we are now to have final approved plans from the county. And with that, we had 2 extensions with the county on the ARPA funding. We just received notice earlier this week. We asked for another 3 months. They said, what the heck, we'll give it to you till December. So we have an extension to December. Oddly enough, we're ready to go out to bid on this project. We are going out for solicitation for bids. We're just finalizing the bid packet, and we plan to have this out on March 5th and that weekend following, both on the Daily Press and the Sun. Deadline for that is March 27th. There is a non-mandatory job walk for this project. I believe it's March 12th in a couple of weeks. With that, we'll have a recommendation to the board to award on April 9th. So it's kind of where we're at. So we have a recommendation to the board on the 23rd for the CM. The meeting prior would be the ARPA project. And hopefully then we can then break ground on that project and see some dirt being moved. I have no other, besides the, well, let's go on the 14-acre project, the Phelan Park expansion. We've been waiting for the NOD. We thought it was on the agenda for this past meeting with the Board of Supervisors. It was not. I kind of flipped through that 18-page agenda, and I don't know if everything's on consent, but it is 18 pages, and it was quite extensive. There was obituaries in there. I didn't know that they included that in their agenda item. So I didn't find it. I did call the architect, well, Steno Design, if they can reach out to our planner, Oliver, and we're waiting for a response on that. And with that being said, the NOD is the component we need to kind of move forward with the mitigation on the Joshua trees. It kind of is tied into the project for the Civic Center project. So I'm a little antsy about that, so it's like, let's get this on the agenda approved. Let's move forward with the Joshua tree mitigation. With that, I have no further to add. If you have any questions, I think we kind of touched on it quite a bit.
Greg, no questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 7, committee reports. Engineering,
Have nothing to report till the next meeting?
all right, finance,
I believe the last time we met was the 21st for the special finance committee meeting and nothing to report.
all right, legislative,
We meet next month.
okay, and park and rec, we haven't met since the last time we reported. Waste and recycling,
Nothing to report until our next meeting.
okay. Agenda item 8, staff and general managers report. Anything to add?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, moving on to number 9, directors reports. Greg?
I have nothing to report, but I do have a future item request. Maybe we look at reforming the personnel ad hoc committee and to discuss the district as we go forward.
Okay. Gina?
I have nothing to report.
All right, Deborah?
I attended the Association of San Bernardino County Special Districts meeting on Monday. They went over a digester that they have. It's nowhere as exciting as the one that CR&R runs. I was like, yeah, it's interesting, but CR&R runs a far better one down in Paris. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Chuck?
How exciting can a digester be?
It has a building that rains inside of it.
It's a gas.
I have nothing to report.
That wasn't funny. Okay. And then for my report, I just wanted to add, and this is for myself as well as all directors, but I would like to see us get back to putting our comments in the packet. So when we attend an ASB CSD dinner or anything that's outside of our regular board meetings or committee meetings, we usually type up a little bit of a report, maybe add the flyer, or if there was a slideshow presented, we can share that as well. And then those get sent to Amy to add into our packets. So we need to get back into doing that again.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to agenda item 10, correspondence and information. Ms. Williams.
I don't have anything new. It's the same items. How to pay your bill online, how to find a water leak, and then our upcoming community cleanup and free tire day on March 8th. And that is all.
All right, thank you. All right, item 11, review of action items. Were there any prior meeting action items
There were none.
and current meeting action items?
I have the one that Mr. Snyder said, and I just want to confirm that was reforming the employee personnel ad hoc committee.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. And then setting agenda for next board meeting, March 12th. Does anyone have anything else they would like to add? No? All right, thank you. And with no further business before the board, we will adjourn at 5:43 PM. Thank you.